that you gave me, I put it up into men and women. It's always just better to just segregate into different worksheets. Right. Now, first thing, obviously, I'm trying to do is do the same, which is what is the.
Simon, you'll be doing with women acquisition checkouts or women total checkouts?
I'm doing women acquisition checkouts first. So I'm saying, okay, let's just look at women acquisition checkouts and all of the channels, right? So FB acquisition, FB, YouTube acquisition, YouTube retention, brand shopping, DD. So first I've done that, right? And then we have all less than 5. So this is great. I don't have to worry about this. 84% R square, which means that this model is actually quite good, right? Anything more than 60%, you know that you can start looking at the model, and it sort of makes sense. And I'm not going to look at non-standardized. I'm going to look at standardized. Now, this is a slightly, what I'm seeing is one. Every acquisition is obviously turning out to be incredible, right? But I'm not seeing much on YouTube acquisition and YouTube remarketing both. Now, obviously, these are not statistically significant, so I can't sort of do this. But this is 0.2. It is not like 0.5 or something like that. 0.2 means it's around 80% significant, right? So I can still sort of consider this. So somehow this is not turning out to be that incredible. But what I'm saying is that brand orders are turning out to be very incredible, which obviously we know that if there are more brand orders, it is obviously impacting acquisition checkouts. The other surprising thing is that suddenly even DD is turning out to be incredible, 0.3 in fact, almost as incredible as FB, right? Now I don't know why that is, because when the first did it, that was not showing up in acquisition checkouts, but now it is showing up in this data. The data that you give for this time period. Now I can also do the same for retention checkouts, just so that we sort of have the same. The variables are the same, right? So I'm not changing any inputs. I'm only changing the output. This is retention checkout. Let me just quickly rename it. Women acquisition versus channels. And this is women targeting versus channels. Now here, same as last time, only 24% is being explained, so it's not a great model. But out of the ones that are being explained, what is turning out is that retention checkouts are dependent on brand. And DD. DD was always there, but brand is showing up. Now, my question is we know that brand is very important because it looks like 0.5 is quite high, right? And it also is equally important in it is also equally important in acquisition checkouts. So my thing is what is brand dependent on, right? So I will try and do the same analysis. So I'm saying regression. I'm trying to understand, is brand orders dependent on some spends, right? Because brand is not an independent variable really. So if I look at brand orders, I said that is the output metric. And I will actually say what is it dependent on. So I will take all of these spends, right? Now shopping ideally I should not take, because shopping also is not a separate one, right? But let me just take that as input and then see what happens. So we have all good. The problem with this model is that nothing is being explained by this model. Only 13% is being explained by this, right? So brand is not dependent on, at least from this one, it is showing that it is not dependent on this, or it is not deviating with this more than dependency. So if I see this, nothing is turning out to be explaining the deviation in brand orders. So you have to ask why is that happening? Why is brand not being explained by, ideally it should be explained by Facebook or YouTube spends on, What do you think could be a reason?
Sangram did brand orders versus all channel spends, right?
Yeah, okay, brand versus all.
I did the same sort of regression analysis with brand orders versus all channels orders.
So you ran it for orders. Huh? We'll do it for orders. We'll see what is. So this one is brand. Okay. Women brand orders versus trends. I'm now doing brand orders versus other channel orders. Okay. So these three and these two. Yeah, here in fact I think this is actually better. All waves are less than 5. This is 50%. This is slightly better than what we previously got. And obviously what is working out in this favor is, yeah, it is heavily dependent on FB acquisition, right? And YouTube acquisition, point 2. YouTube remarketing is not dependent on it, which is why we shut it down. It is dependent on shopping. Shopping probably because they're actually more correlated as opposed to causational, right? So if I remove shopping also, I doubt if Asker will go down so much. Maybe it will go down a bit. So what I'm doing now is I'm just removing DND and this because, or I'll just put DD because DD might also impact brand. Yeah. So I removed shopping orders from this, and you'll see that R score is around 45.9. Earlier before that, R score is 48.3. Right. So only 3% was being explained by shopping. So basically, it's not impacting that much. So this is there, and if I see it will be the same. Right. So this is heavily dependent on FB acquisition and YouTube acquisition. It's in fact not dependent on anything else, not even DD. So if I remove DD and then only put FB acquisition and YouTube acquisition,